Hello, welcome to part 9 of my character creation tutorial. This part of the video I'm going to show you the other two elements of the elemental bullet attack, which is wind and earth. I've already done fire and ice, as you can see here from the animations. So wind is going to look like this, wait for it, like that, where the ball enlarges, and earth is going to be like this, and these are going to fly upwards as projectiles. Now I'll show you what they look like in Mugen. Then I'll show you how they work in code. So first things first. So this is wind, and this is earth. Now, when you press, I also changed a little function here. When you press the charge button for the elemental bullet system, it'll raise her gauge down here. So now, each one of the spells takes 500 from the gauge. So give or take, she has 3 gauges: 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. 500 would be like this, here, here, and here. So she'll have a total of 6 spells that she can cast at full gauge. So here is the elemental bullet startup system right here. You push A, B, or C, she'll do that. Then you push forward, fire, down, an ice arrow, which you have to walk to activate, kind of like a landmine. These are the new ones: startup and back, wind; startup and up, earth. Simple how it works, right? It cannot be done in the air. I'm too lazy to code that move in the air. Honestly, I mean, I should, but I'm just too lazy. So I'll show you how wind works. Pushes him back and generates a lot of hits. Now look at it from this point of view. It's a hitbox that enlarges from her body, goes outwards. And now I'll show you earth. And he's not supposed to flip like that, but basically the rocks appear from below her and they go up at random positioning, all the same velocity, so it's never the same way. As you can see, if Kung Fu Man or anyone is jumping above her, it's a good offensive attack. It's also a good way to keep people away from you too. And let's see, okay, yeah, at the end of this video I'll be going over the how to add sounds. I know I should have done this a long time ago. I just didn't do it because I like to add sounds at the end. Now, I'll show you the animation for it. For the earth animation, I had to make my own separate version of her bullet 2 animation, just because this, magic 2 animation, just this doesn't last long enough. This is the default animation from the way the game has it, and then this is the extended wind, and then the extended earth animation. So, first off, wind. You have the spiraling. Whoosh. The hardest thing about this is probably the alignment. Don't worry about the hitboxes. These hitboxes aren't real. They're just there for show, for getting the basic idea of what size to use. And then this is the glow ball. That's in the middle. It just fades out. It's there, then zoom, fades out. This is the earth. I separate into 2 things: the floor, which it goes up, stays, then goes down, and fades out. This is something you should know here. When you're doing transparencies for most effects, addition and lowering a source would be great, but when you're using images that are dark, that need to stay dark, like rocks, and you want them to fade out, you need to mess with the dest. I'm not sure what the hell this stands for, but it's like the darker shades of the transparency. So if you put this to 0, this is the full color. You put this to 256, you'll see the transparency. You put this to 128, you'll see it half transparency. This is what you want to have for dark colors like rocks. If you want them to fade out, you need this. So it appears like that. So it fades in, goes up, fades down. Now, these are the actual rock projectiles. I have them scaled by 0.5 in the code, and you cannot scale collision boxes. It's impossible to scale collision boxes. There is a workaround, but it's just too technical and too difficult and not worth your time and effort to do. It's really complicated. I believe Cyanide or Sebastian from Mugen Fighters Guild knows how to do it. I forget which one. But when you're coding projectiles and you have to scale them, your hitboxes have to be much smaller than what the actual sprite looks like. So say this is the box for, if you were making this the actual sprite, it would be like this, right? But if you scale by half, it'll be like this. So you need to imagine this moved into the sensor, and then you would have more or less what these boxes here do. Let's see, okay, so that's that. Now you understand how the animations work. The animations work with time and transparencies, and things like this will have negative time because they don't do much. The glow ball has some time only because it's fading in and out. The spiral just goes once. Now, I've changed some code minor things here and there that will fix and make her more balanced. For instance, in her arrow rain super, I've added this trigger all here, which is number helper. This is the ID number of the helper, which is in the helper summon code right here, ID. Whatever number this is, this has to be the same thing as this trigger. Now, this super will activate if number helper 1010 is not equal to 1, which means if the helper is not active and not on screen, then you can do the super. If it is on screen, you cannot do the super. This prevents the player from being able to do the super, then go back to stand and do the super again, go back to stand, do the super again, and spam it. You don't want to do that at all. That's very unfair gameplay, and it's just broken. You try to avoid that at all costs. So that's that. Then let's go to the bullet setup system here, and I had to include the same code in the ice because the ice is actually a projectile code, not a projectile, it's a helper coding where you shoot the helper in the floor and more or less it'll stay there until the opponent goes next to it. So if I didn't have this code here, then I can pretty much shoot up to probably 7, don't ask how, but I can shoot 7 helpers into the ground, ice arrows, and if the player gets trapped in it, it's an instant kill because it's too many hits, too powerful, that just wipe out the opponent. So you have to limit this to only work with 1. I could probably add more triggers to limit this more, but I will leave it at this because this works perfectly fine the way it is. And I've also added these here. The change state for wind, hold back, and change state for earth, hold up. And the states I made. Another thing that I needed to add was, oh yes, in all of your special moves that you want to be fair and not cheap, you should always add this little line of code to it. Get power equals 0. Get power equals 0 means if you hit the opponent, you will not gain power. So in a move like this where I'm using the bullet system and I don't want the player to get back power after they lose power from casting the spell, I would need that code in all of the attack stuff to prevent the player from gaining a gauge when attacking the opponent. Let's see, hit def. Okay. Now I use some fancy code here which I don't normally use, but it's something I needed to put. Let me see. Okay, this has to be here for sure. Alright, so let's move on to the wind bullet. The wind bullet. You understand how I have it set up here. You enter the setup state using the ABC command, either one, and then depending on which button you press, in this case hold back, you will go to the wind state, 940, and 940 you will lose 500 points from your power gauge, and everything else is more or less standard. You'll have a Explode, which is more or less, I believe, what, let's see, 970, okay, 971, this is the glowing ball. So the glowing ball is going to be an Explode that starts at time equals 0, so this will appear right away on the character, and position, whatever position you want to use, bind time will be -1. Scale is 0.25. The reason this scale is so small is because this Explode is going to enlarge over time. So you start off small, or big depending on what you're trying to do, and you use the scale code right down here to fix that. Also, you need to have a code like this, remove on get hit. Basically, if your character gets hit, they will be knocked out of this current state that they're in, this state, and the Explode will kill itself, which is good because you don't want to have your Explodes like all over the screen when you're not even there, because that's just strangeness. So this is the ball zooming in right here, and then the ball fades out on its own free animation here. Next is the spiraling wind, 970, which is this. So this will also be zooming in, and I didn't put a fade out code for this because it looks like it just ends properly, you know. So I just left that there. And this is the scale for the whirling wind thing. You see the animation here? Oh, also, well, I'll explain this now actually. Modify Explode. This code is supposedly deprecated, and they don't want us to really use it. Let me just check to make sure. S controls. Loading. 9 minutes in. Oh my god, I'm only talking. I haven't talked much. Crap. No, crap. I hate that program. So modify xplod. Where is you hiding? Okay, modify xplod. Okay, yeah. Modifies the parameters of the existing xplot. Syntax is basically the same as xplot. However, this controller is subject to change in the future. Any code relying on this trigger controller is not guaranteed to work in the future. Meaning they may change in the future, it may not work, but right now it works and we're going to use the hell out of it. So, to make it simple, um, modify xplot will be time greater than 0. So if this starts at 0, time greater than 0 would be 1. So this will start right after this. And now, the ID is very important. The ID has to be the same. The modify xplot will only affect its ID number. Its ID number is this, so it's only going to affect this. Animation will be the same. The scale, this is a kind of a fancy code here. This is scaling over time. So it's going to be this scale by default, and every increment of seconds, every tick, is going to increase by 0.05. So let's see, 0.25 will become I think this is right. I could be very wrong. 0.30. Then it becomes 0.35. So basically, every tick that passes by, the scale will increase this by 5, and the image is going to get bigger, obviously, because the scale is getting bigger. And that basically makes the xplot enlarge. And this could work backwards too. If you put like a negative, it'll shrink. I believe so, at least. Then the remove time. The remove time is very important, and I base the remove time mainly on the ball fading. This is 40 ticks total, so I'm using that for the ball fading, the exact time. The other xplot is the same thing, more or less. At the same time, the remove time is the end of the animation, which is 36. And then the hit def is actually why I had to make that second wind magic for the player. So she goes up like that, and the big red hitbox expands out of her body. Now this is all guessing and it's trial and error until you get it right. So, and then that's the hit def, and the trigger I have is time mod 3 equals 0. So from the point of time equals 0, you're gonna count 3. So it'll be notepad, open up for me. Huh. Okay, so time equals 0. Oh crap. Then time equals 3. Time equals 6. Time equals 9, 12, 15. 18? Yeah. And it pretty much goes in increments of 3. So every 3 ticks, this hit def is going to be active, which is the reason why it's only active for 11 hits or so. And more or less it's the standard hit def, which I copied from one of our other command stuff here. So all in all the wind bullet is 2 exploits that enlarge and a hit def that makes it look like they're hitting you when they're really not. So it's kind of an optical illusion. And let's just take a look at it one more time just to see how it looks before I move on to the earth bullet. So start up and there. See, the red hitbox is from the character. The exploits are just enlarging and then fading out. But close up, it looks like they're actually hitting you, which they're not. Oh, another thing to know. See this code here, ignore hit pause. This makes the exploit ignore if this is either true or false. 0 is false, 1 is true. Ignore hit pause is set to false right now. So the hit pause here. Wait a second. Where is it? I have pause time. Yeah, pause time here basically tells the exploit to pause at the same time. 2. So this is gonna pause for 2 ticks. If this was 20, this will pause for 20 ticks. This is very important because you don't want to hit someone and have the animation keep playing. Because if I set this to like 1, I'll show you quickly. The whirlwind is gonna finish before the ball finishes, and then it's not gonna look right. Look like a giant ball hitting them, kind of like a spirit bomb. See? It's supposed to finish it almost at the same time, but it finished before. So it has to be 0 to make it work right. Next is the bullet earth. bullet, earth bullet. Okay, so I'm gonna use an XSplit again, just like before, same thing, and it's gonna use the earth magic animation I made, which is her lasting a bit longer up like that. That's all it is, nothing fancy with her. Here, and the actual spell itself is this XSplit here, is this coming up from the ground, staying below her, and disappearing. Then I have the projectile here. The projectile coding is kind of complicated from what I normally use, but it overall does the same thing. So let's start with the top. The trigger is going to be time mod 7 equals 0. So from the point of, now you have to bear with me here, I'm not good at math. Why would you start when I click you? So from time equals 0 to time equals 7, then time equals 14, then time equals 21. So make my okay. So yeah, this is how time mod 7 works. It's all of this in one little piece of coding. All of that. And then I have another limiting thing, and, which means time less than 50. So anywhere from time 0 to time equals time 50. Well, 49 actually, because this is less than, so this value isn't counted for. It's really 49. So anywhere from time equals 0 to time equals 49, every 7 ticks, this projectile will be created. Now the animation is 981, and 981 is this, which I explained about the hitbox already. Scaled by 0.5, which is project scale. It's not going to remove itself when it hits them. It's just going to keep going. It's only one hit. It's only the priority out of 9, I believe. The velocity is set to -9. It's going to move upwards. Now the offset. This is a bit tricky. I had to get SX Victor to help me with this because I couldn't figure this out for a long time. And all of this I can erase actually because he told me what the problem was. Now I'm making a range basically. So the projectiles are going to appear randomly below her feet. Let me draw a stick figure. I'm good at stick figures. You've seen my drawings before, haven't you? So, okay, so this is her, and this is the ground. No, 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 no. Okay, so the rocks are going up this way, randomly from any direction, within this range. So, to do that, normally the offset code would set only one position, either here. Oh, that's a bad color. Okay, so either the offset will be here or here, but instead what I did was I used a special code that will more or less let me set a range. This code basically says from -35, so give or take this is -35 plus -35 plus 71. So imagine this. Let me see if I can draw it actually. Number line 0, -35. Okay, so if you plus 35, you end back at 0. So in order, and you end right here in the middle of the where the character is, and you don't need that. So you need it to be over here on positive 35. Okay. Now to get that, you have to add another 35. So 35 plus 35 equals 70. 6, 5, 70, yes. So now the range is going to be from -35 to positive 35 because in between all of this is 70 points. Now because the way Mugen works, it's kind of funny. You need to use 71 because this number isn't actually accounted for. It's one less than the number. So by using 71, you'll get 70. So this is -35 distance, and this is 71 distance right here to make it come up within this range. So that's the reason why I have this. So anywhere from -35 to positive 35, it's going to come up randomly. And the offsets, I have to fix the offset to make it look right. It's nothing really major there. This is another piece of fancy coding here. You don't need this. I just added this for cosmetic looks to make it look right. What this is an if else statement. So it's like saying if player 2 body distance x is less than -20, meaning if the player 2's body is to the left or behind the player, then set the velocity to 2. If they're not behind the player, set the velocity to -2. This way, if a character so normally when I hit the character they slide backwards. Like, I'll show you a quick example of that. Like so. Wait, that's not it. So I slap him, he falls backwards. Okay, I hit him, he goes back, right? Now if he goes over my head and I hit him, he'll go the wrong way. So to fix that, I have to make it so the bullets, the earth bullets, knock him back this way, which looks great. Now if he were to jump over my head and I did it, he would go the opposite direction. See? Because of his positioning compared to mine. It's all about axis placement. So let's try this again. Yeah. So look at where my axis is, look at where his axis is. Because he's this far to the right, he's gonna fall back. Now if he was over more to the left, he would fall to the left. See? It's all placement, really. This is not necessarily coding. You don't have to use this. I just used it because I wanted to use it. Another thing you'll notice I have here is after image codes for the projectile. I do not recommend using after image codes for a projectile. It looks horrible, and I'm only using it because I want to use it. As you see here, airfall and fall. Huh, I wonder why he still stands up after oh, okay, this is why. I just have 2 fall codes, so this is making this one be ignored, so I'll get rid of this. Good, so that's mainly that I've changed. And now I'm going to add sounds. So we'll go to the sound tab. These are all Kung Fu Man sounds. I'm going to make a new sound file because we don't need that. So I ripped Ayame sprites from Power Stone, and I got some from RPG Maker. Now, a good thing to know is that the reason I use RPG Maker is because of the effects that it has, which are where all my bullet effects are from. For instance, this gives me an idea how to use them too. So this is the fire bullet. Pretty badass, huh? The wind, no, I forget what I used for the other ones, but basically this whole thing here gave me an idea for the attacks. Oop, ice, okay. So you see, I use this as reference for ideas and attacks, and it also has a good amount of sounds in it, which I took out and I plan on using. So just some random sound. See? So we don't need that open either. Now, first thing to know about sounds. When you add sounds to a sound file, they have to be preferably, according to Cybaster or Cyanide, I confuse the two like crazy. According to one of them, they should be mono sounds, because with stereo it might just sound kind of funny. So, anyways, I ripped Ayame sounds, and they're all here. It's a pain in the ass to rip, believe me. Ripping Dreamcast games is not easy. And then, these are RPG Maker sound effects here. So, first off, I like to personally add this icon down here. You saw I kept clicking this one, but it didn't do anything, right? That's because I didn't really think about it. So, Ayame sounds. Okay. First sound I like to add is the dying sound. The dying sound is always group 11, index 0. Always, no matter what. Unless it's a full game made by a group of people who decide not to use this number. Group 11 is the death sound. I have to raise the volume on that. See, my channels here are stereo, but that's because I like to use stereo. But they said it's better not to, but I like to use it anyways, because I'm me. So, first is death sound. Good, that's out the way. When she dies, we'll play that. And we'll save the sound over Shelly. Now, I'll just do a quick test in Mugen and kill her. See? Just like that. She's dead. So that's done with. Next, I'll add the entrance sounds. I'll use group 1. You can use whatever group number you want to use. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Let me see her attack. I will make in group 2. Then transform, super special attack, high, team up, jump. I'll make all of that group 3. Then let's see what else is there. The hurt ones, I forget how to code hurt to work properly, but the win is gonna be group 4. Here are her voices. See? Kinda cute sounding, huh? But that's that. So hurt sounds. Put these as 5,000 because 5,000 is the hurt state. So it's a good reference for myself, really. So save that. Now to code the sound to work in the game. Now I'm just gonna skip that intro thing right there because the intro is still Kung Fu Man, like I believe. I didn't think of an intro for her yet, but the next video will have an intro already done. So okay, so we need to make it play a sound. She's gonna say hop for her first attack where she swings her bow across, slapping the opponent. So we go here to play sound. The play sound, okay, and we get all these little options which we're not really sure what they do. So what do? We do the things that we need to do, or the things that we know. Trigger will be time equals 0. So she'll say yep at time equals 0. The attack sound is not that 2-0. So value 2-0. The S means it's going to read from the character sound file. If you put a F, it's going to read from the fight sound file within the data folder. We don't want that. We want the character sound file. So we'll use that. Volume scale is a new feature in Mugen 1.0 which more or less allows you to scale the volume. We'll set it to 100. Now the channel thing is very debatable. Most people don't understand this for some unknown reason, but there is a dedicated channel here that's only dedicated to character voices, and that's 0. If the channel is 0 and the character, it's going to play the voice, and if the character is hit, it's going to cancel out automatically. Whereas if you play a sound on channel 1 through 16, which is what you're allowed, 1 through 16, you can change this in the Mugen configuration file, but normally 1 to 16. If you play a sound from channel 1 to 16 and you're hit, then the sound is going to keep playing even though you're not doing whatever you were doing before, which you don't want. Like say I'm doing a Shinku Hadouken and then someone punches me in the face, I'm just going to be standing there and I want to say Shinku Hadouken and I'm just going to stand there. Nothing's going to happen. But if you put channel equals 0 and I say Shinku Hadouken, you punch me in the face, it's going to be like Shinku Hadouken, and that's that. So for character voices, use channel 0. Character voices, use channel 0. Everything else, channel 1 through 16. Also, using -1 will use any available channel. Now, low priority, I have no idea what this means. Frequency manipulate, I don't know what the hell this is either. Looping, I never figured out. Oh, this obviously loops it. Pan, if you want to pan it from left speaker to right speaker. I've never used that. Abspan, ignore, hit, pause, persistent. I've never used any of these. This is all I use for a play sound, basically. And you can more or less use this code all over and just change the value. So we're going to try that right now. So 2-1, what's this 2-1 sound like? Okay, maybe 2-1 should not have a sound. I mean, yeah, 201 should not have a sound. So we'll move on to Y. Give Y a nice sound. Okay, good. And Z, let's give Z a sound as well. How's this sound? Yeah, that works fine. So, there. Now let's just play it and test it. Okay, so, see? You see this activates kind of early? So let's just make this like 10 ticks instead of 0 to give her a little delay and yeah, or whatever she screams. Yeah, see? It looks much better. Now that I've added the character voices, I will do that all over for almost all of these, and I'm going to add the attack voices, which is going to be add all of this crap on my desktop. Oh, it's not here because I didn't convert them. Okay, these are all OGG files. I recommend using Audacity to take the images and convert them to WAV. Mugen works best with WAV, so I would use WAV. Ah, it's loading. Okay, so fire. That's big. So go to File, Export, Fire. I have mine set to WAV already. Save. Okay. Close. Fire 01. Export. This. Yes. Okay. Ice. Yes. Export. Yes. Okay. Oh, make sure you close them before you open the next one, or else the audios will fuse together and sound really bad. Okay, wind. The hell is that? That's crazy. I've never seen that before. So that's wind. Then there's earth. Okay. Then another earth. Okay. Next is bow. I have to have a bow sound. It makes noise when you fire a bow. I have an alternative bow sound. Whichever sounds cooler. There. A normal hit. That's for normal hits when she hits you with her bow. These are arrow hitting the opponent. That sounds really loud, but I'll keep it. I'll alter these sounds to make them sound properly afterwards. Audacity has this thing here to amplify, but you can also just put negative values and hit allow clipping, and it'll make it smaller basically. And charge. Yeah, I was gonna use that for when she slows down time for the elemental bullet startup. And super. That's the super sound. Okay, so I don't need anything else. Wave, wave, wave. Og. Okay. And just because it's here, I'll play this right now just because it's there. Okay, good. So, now, that sound. I'm going to add all these at once with no organization whatsoever, so I'll figure it out as I go. Group 5. Okay. So you see it's kind of organized as death, intro, sounds, player attack sounds, other attack sounds. Not sure what to describe this as. Wind sounds. These are wind quotes sounds for the windscreen. And the actual attack noises. So, okay, 510. That's the normal hit sound. So we'll go to command 1. Hit def. Hit sound. S means sound file. That'll be 510. That's what we're looking for. Guard file, we don't have a 6, so it's not going to play. This is going to be mute because there's no 6 that exists in my sound file. only 5,000. Always be sure to save, like I always say. Hit sound 510. Let's go to Y. So copy the same hit sound here, 510. Any other hits with the bow directly? No. Let's look for that arrow hitting the player sound. No. 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 That sounds right. 5-5. Okay, so this is the arrow. Hit sound is. Where did I put that? Did I have it here? I can't see. Oh, here it is. Hit sound. So it's gonna be sound file 5-5. Guard. Well, we'll just put no. We'll just leave it that way. So that's the arrow. Then go on to the next one and paste it again. Go on to the next one. Paste it again. And believe it or not, when you add sounds to a character, you'll feel like your progress is actually much further than it really is, because it just makes you feel more complete. Hit sound, good. This has no hit sound. Air X needs a hit sound. Air Y needs a hit sound. Hit sound, good. Air Z can use a hit sound as well. Yeah. Good, good, good. Okay, so alright, that's all that. Now we need to add the bow sound when you're firing the bow. What sound is that? Okay, 5-1, 5-2, either or. So here's a trick I can show you. We'll copy this whole play sound from here, paste it here, erase this. It's going to be channel -1, so any available channel will play this. We're going to use animation element 4 because that's when the bow is actually fired. You want the sound to match the animation. It is sound number 5-2 and 5-1. So if I remember correctly, it would be 5 random. Let's see, 5 1 mod 3 because oh wait, 5 for 1 plus, yeah, okay, so this will be in the range from 1 to 2 because 3 is not accounted for. It's always 1 and 2. It's always 1 less than the number you have here. So if I did this correctly, it'll play randomly either 5-1 or 5-2, which will be kind of cool. We'll use the same volume scale, and let's just try this out. So this is XX, yeah, so this will be easy to check out. Okay, so let me just check 2. Yeah, maybe that'll work. But basically, you saw how it fired off and played that one random sound, but you understand that it played the sound that I wanted it to play. Okay, good. So I'll simply just copy this, go to this state, paste it, go to this state, paste it, go to the other arrow states, paste it. See, when everything is all aligned the same way, it's easy to do things. Not aligned, sorry. When everything is all coded the same way in a very organized manner, it's easy to just copy and paste things all over the place and have like success in making it work and look right. So now let's try the rapid fire with the arrows. I'm using a headset right now, so I can't hear properly. Maybe you're hearing both shots. If anything, I probably have to edit the sounds to make them fit properly, but you get the basic idea of how to make her talk and shoot things with her arrows and stuff, and learned how to make optical illusion attacks. And cool attacks. Anti-air. If he gets caught in the middle of that, it sucks for him. It just pushes him back and forth. Like that. Look at that. Oh. Sucks to be him. And here, this is a good example of how the collision boxes look. So, that's all I want to do in this video. I'm going to do this off screen. I'll add play sounds to the rest of everything else. Maybe I'll find some more sounds for whatever. You know, if you find sounds however you could find them, take them from other characters, which, you know, most people say don't do it, but in the end you never really know how someone gets the sound anyways, either from themselves or steal from someone else. So do whatever you think you need to do to get the sounds, or voice rips you could find online. I recommend Sound Resource, which is a affiliate to Spriter's Resource, and I'll show you that place quickly. Sprite database. Huh. Okay. Okay. Spriter's Resource. Then from here, you hope that the screen loads. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, this is not loading. Huh, it loaded after I said that. Then you go here on the left side, the sounds, and sounds resource. This is more or less effects and stuff from various games ripped by people, and you can get the whole list here and all that, but I'm not gonna get into that. So I'll do the rest of this offline. You've got the basic idea of how the helper system is gonna work. In the next video, I will finish her, and the next video is gonna be like a review of everything that you've learned, and my thoughts of everything going through my, you know, production of making this video. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the final episode of character creation for Mugen. This is your host Ryan speaking, signing out. Sayonara.